Alright guys, so today's video is going to be another Predator 212 video. Today we're going to be talking about adjusting the valve lash, which is the clearance between the rocker arm and the top of the valve. If the valves are set too tight, your valves may not close all the way, especially when the engine heats up and the metal expands. It can actually cause the valves, one of them or both of them, to stay partially open, and allows the gases to pass it, and essentially you burn the valve, so to speak. And you have to reseat the valve and all that, and possibly replace the valve if that happens. It's probably going to be more common to have the valve lash open up, especially as the engine breaks in more. This is a brand new engine that obviously does not need this done, but we're just doing a demonstration of it. You usually have to get, unless there's something internally wrong, you have to get a lot of hours on the engine. I think it's recommended to adjust it at 20 hours after on a brand new engine like this. So the first thing I want to do is go and take the muffler off. You don't have to do this to do this repair. We're just doing it so you can see everything a little bit easier. So you got two 13mm nuts right here. You may damage the gasket, but in this case it stayed intact, so you're good on that. You can see that really opens it up. So we're going to take the spark plug wire off, stick it out of the way. I already pre-loosened the spark plug, so we'll go ahead and get it out. You have to remove the spark plug so you can set the engine on top dead center, which is when the piston is all the way up. This gives you an indication of that. Now you're left with these 4 bolts here. This is the non-Hemi version. If you have the Hemi version, it'll be like a cast aluminum valve cover. But your actual valve adjustment is the same. It may be set up slightly different. You just have to pay attention to how it's set up, but your actual adjustment will be very similar to it. I do think the Hemis use a slightly different rocker arm setup, but like I said, essentially in the end it's the same. That wasn't even hardly tight. Neither was that. Wow, it didn't hardly tighten them at all. It's crazy. That probably would have started leaking after it got some airs on it. So there will be a little bit of oil come out of this when you open this up, so you might want to lay a rag down on your piece of equipment just to keep from having a little mess there. Get these out off camera. Alright, there's all 4 bolts removed. Your valve cover usually stick, where this engine's brand new. It is not. Sometimes your gasket will tear, but again, this engine is brand new. It has a cork gasket, which is very impressive. I highly recommend a cork gasket over a rubber gasket. So now you get access to your valves. So on this engine, it's very easy to tell this is your exhaust valve. So it's right here by the exhaust port, and your carburetor is right here, so this is your intake valve. This is what we're adjusting, is the play. And now see how this one is tight, and this one is loose, but it could be just where it's at. You'll be able to see how the valves move. Also, if you get in one of these that's hard to crank over, this also adjusts the compression release for you. I can actually see the piston. Alright, so right now the exhaust valve is open, piston's coming up. Now the intake valve opens as the piston comes down. The piston's coming up. That was your compression release right there. You've seen that exhaust valve open and close very slightly. Alright, just to demonstrate what I was talking about, if you put a screwdriver down through the spark plug hole and gently turn it over, so your screwdriver moves with the piston, and you can tell when it reaches its highest point, it's top dead center. So there's intake, piston coming down, valve closes. Now we're on compression stroke. Exhaust valve closes on the way up. Alright, just went slightly past it. You can kind of turn it like that. You'll feel it. Both valves should be loose at this point. This is usually where you'd want to adjust it. If you're doing it on something different, make sure that that is the proper setting for that. So to adjust the valves, you need a few basic tools. You need 2 wrenches. You need a small one for this lock nut, and a bigger one for the actual adjustment nut. So the black nut right here is the lock nut. The silver nut is the actual adjustment nut. You need a feeler gauge. We got to look up the specs because I can't remember them right off the top of my head. We'll put the specs in up here for the intake and exhaust valves. And it's usually recommended to do this when the engine's cold and hasn't been running, and give it time to cool off. So when you get a most accurate reading on it. So the valve adjustment is the same for both valves on these. A lot of your older engines would be a difference, usually a bigger gap on the exhaust valve due to the heat. But you set it between 2 and 3 thousandths is the gap on these. And it's just like your old engines. If you any engine that has a compression release, it works off a centrifugal lobe on the camshaft like these have. If you set the clearance just slightly tighter, it will make it easier starting. And if you open a gap up, you will get just slightly more compression on starting. So it recommends a 2 to 3 thousandths gap. 1 thousandths or 1.5 thousandths is a minimum. So I'd recommend setting them at 2 thousandths. It puts everything right in the middle. So I'm going to get a feeler gauge ready. Alright, so I have a 0.002 inch or 2 thousandths inch feeler gauge. And it will not quite go in between there on either valve. So that tells me that either this has to be at a certain rotation. Usually most engines are at a top dead center or a quarter turn past top dead center, or there's just a very tight spec from the factory. And this engine seemed like it had a slight miss. It could be the valve's not sealing all the way on this, but it doesn't really appear to be set right from the factory. But let me check it and see what they're actually setting at. Alright, so both valves need to be set between 2 and 3 thousandths. My feeler gauge starts at 2 thousandths. I'm going to guess these are about 1 to 1.5 thousandths. So we're going to open them up. So the first thing you want to do, and the engine does need to be on top dead center, just verify that. Most engines are. You want to loosen the lock nut. Just about a turn like that. I'm just going to go ahead and do both of them since I have the wrench in hand. We're just going to be doing one valve at a time. Get the feeler gauge for 2 thousandths. And you can manually turn the silver nut most of the time to get it to for your initial adjustment, but we're going to go ahead and just loosen it just a little bit. So now you see the feeler gauge goes in. I'm blocking the camera. So we got the silver nut loose to allow the actual adjustment. Both nuts are loose. So now we got the valve is extremely loose now. So this will slide in just like that. And you got to tighten the silver nut till you get just a barely drag on it like that. Then once you get it set, carefully put your wrench back on it without turning it. You turn it just the tiniest bit, it's okay. Try to keep it steady, and you tighten this back up, and that'll lock it in place. You gotta kind of get the slack out of it, because it will try to turn. Make sure you don't move this one, but this one tightens. Get it pretty snug like that. Then check it again. See, it tightened up on me. That's what you gotta watch out for. So now we gotta loosen it back up. I was afraid to turn. I thought I felt it move. It's way easier to adjust them on overhead valve engines than your old flatheads. If you ever watched my if you ever watched a lot of my older videos working on the old flatheads, it's always a hassle because if your valve's too tight, you got to take the valve out and file or grind it down to get it to be clearanced right, or weld on the end of it if it needs to be tighter, then grind it to spec. So barely got it snug. Now I got it too tight. Back it off just a little bit. There we go. That's what you want, just a little bit of drag like that. So I'm going to hold that in place. Like I said, you may have to do it a couple times if the wrench moves. Alright, now let's check it again. That's better than it was. I'm going to loosen it just the tiniest bit more. It's hard to show you on camera doing it like this because usually you wouldn't think nothing of it having to do it like this, but So right there's where it needs to be. It's better if you keep this nut just barely snug on up. That way it's not just all over the place. Right there's what you want, exactly. Just barely any drag. Okay, I'm going to do the exact same thing on the other valve. Hopefully my hand wasn't blocking you. So you get it in there. It's just barely catching. It's very hard to show all this on camera. It won't quite go in. That's probably what was happening at the factory. And they probably got tired of messing with it. And just went with it. It's a little loose. I'd rather have the adjustment just on a little tiny bit of a loose side, just to keep the valve sealing. Check it again. There we go. Just the tiniest bit of drag on it. Perfect. Alright, so now we can put the valve cover back on. We didn't lose any oil. In some engines you'll lose a little bit of oil. You can see where the oil has been. And you want, like I said, you want to do this when the engine is cold. The engine should have possibly just the tiniest bit more compression than it did before, since the valves were a little snug on it. Now if your valves are too loose, you will get a valve tick, and that tick will get worse and eventually start working on the camshaft and causing other problems as well. So that's why you got to pay attention to it and get it set just right. Now on a 4-bolt valve cover like this, run all your bolts in so you can just barely feel it snug. And there's a little trick to help with the potential for any oil leaks. These probably have a torque spec. If it does, I'll put it in right now. But it was way too loose from the factory. So ordinarily, when you're torquing bolts down, you go in a crisscross pattern. Sometimes that don't apply. I like to go like on the bottom here, snug them, then do the top ones. Then just make sure that they're tight. You don't have to go crazy. They're very loose from the factory. And you should be good to go. And put your breather hose back in there. Just like that. Mostly just 2 bolts go back in. I'll go and get the spark plug back in as well. Then we'll start it up and see how it runs. Should run a little bit better, at least have a little bit more compression. And valves were set pretty tight on this. So it's probably not a bad idea to check a new engine just to make sure that they're good to go, especially if it's going to have a lot of hours put on it, like on a tiller or go-kart or something, you know. But, all right, let me get this back together. All right, I'm gonna do a crank to see. Oh yeah, it does have a little bit more compression than it did. So let's get the fuel back on, let the carburetor bowl fill up. It's already set on choke. I ran the gas out of it, and this one seems to like a little bit of throttle on it to start. Alright, it seemed like it helped this one. So if you get a new one that's got a slight mess, it just don't seem to be running smooth, you might have to check them valves. It could be not set right from the factory, as you just seen. So, alright guys, so that's a quick little video on adjusting the valve. Like I said, you usually don't have to do that until the engine start getting some hours on it, like after a couple oil changes. But ain't gonna do no harm checking it, you know. So, alright guys, thanks for watching. We'll catch you on the next video. There'll be some more 212 videos in this series. Hope I'm not boring you and wearing you out with the 212. It was just an idea popped in my head to get some videos put up on this. And try to modernize the channel a little bit, I guess you could say. We'll eventually get back to some vintage restoration rebuilds and stuff like we used to do. I'm just kind of doing something a little bit different. So I hope everybody's having fun with this and enjoying it. And hopefully I'm helping you out with something. So, alright guys, we'll catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching.